I never thought I would have a fashion brand, but it has always been a thing of me not wanting to wear what everybody wears. Before coming to school, I just wanted to, sell clothes. But coming to school, I learned business modeling. I learned different types of business modeling. I learned what my competitors are doing. I learned a lot. I remember we launched it November 30, and that was the only day we sold something.
Oh my God.
So for 7 months, we didn't sell anything. What kept me going again was me remembering that Coca-Cola sold one bottle the first day of
Oh
their
my
business.
God. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Becoming with the Angela Chris, the podcast where you learn, unlearn, and relearn all that it takes to become the best version of yourself. And with me today is a fashion guru, a businessman, a husband, a CEO of one of the top fashion industry in the UK,
Oh, wow.
and is no other than Mr. Osundoja Osundare.
Dari. Yeah.
Osundare.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for accepting our invitation.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure having you here with us.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so based on our topic for this series, becoming an entrepreneur, a pivot for greatness. Mr. Dodger, can you tell us more about yourself?
So, my name is Osundoja Osundare. I'm the CEO and director of House of Dodger, and I'm also the founder of Dodger Errands, which is Errand Boy, also known as Errand Boy. And yeah, I'm her husband, son, and I'm a man.
Yeah. Can you please tell us how and when did you when did you know that you're gonna own a fashion brand? Like when and how did you know you're gonna own a fashion brand? Like what initiated that thoughts and yeah, basically.
Actually, I never thought I would have a fashion brand, but it has always been a thing of me not wanting to wear what everybody wears.
Okay.
So right from when I was young, I used to bother my mom
Oh,
to buy special clothes for me.
okay.
If I see something I like, I want to have something like that. I
Mm.
remember the one Christmas like that. I saw Olamide the musician wearing
Yes.
a jalabia um with polo on, it has collar. So I told my mom that was what I wanted to wear for
Okay.
Christmas.
Are you serious? Oh my
And she
God.
was like, why do you want? So I've always wanted something different, something unique, and that's why you know I so I schooled in Cyprus. I did my undergrad and my first master's in
What did you
Cyprus.
study as?
So
Okay.
on my undergrad, I studied public relations and advertising.
Wow.
So communication and media studies was my first master's, and it helped my communication. And that was when I actually um, pivoted into fashion.
Yeah, but
So
was that what you originally wanted to be when you were younger? Because we all have this dream of wanting to be doctor,
while I was growing up, I had um, I wanted to. I love planes,
Okay.
right? And I wanted to build my own car, build my own plane, big dreams.
Yeah, right.
So, but unfortunately, my secondary school, all our sets, they didn't release our physics.
Oh my God.
So, and as a
So was he
science
hanging
student,
somewhere?
yeah, as a science student, I could not, you know, um, go into
Yeah,
yeah,
without physics, yeah.
yeah, and I wrote physics again. in
Why
my
you
NECO,
failed?
I had D7, and
Oh my
in
god.
my
Like,
WAEC, they didn't release it at all.
hey,
I mean,
problem.
after WAEC, we barely, study for NECO and all. So I wrote it again, and I didn't pass it. So um, then I went to Lautech to study transport management,
Mm-hmm.
because that is the closest thing to me working where
And you
I was
got
disciplined. Yeah, so for
okay.
transport management, you can do marine, you can do road, and you can do aviation. So
Okay.
I was planning to do aviation. Then we had a problem with the school. We went on 9 month strike,
Ha.
and I mean,
Problem.
after the 9 month strike, my family was like, I should just move to Cyprus and
Okay.
study in Cyprus. So moving to Cyprus for me, there was no transport or ever. So
Okay.
it was just actually, I would say God has always been directing my steps.
Yeah,
Most of
amazing.
my my plans, my steps are not really something I really wanted.
Hmm?
But at the end of the day, I find out that it's what God's plans.
Yeah, God has a
So
greater plan.
yeah, just like me being in the UK is not my plan. I saw my jotter, my diary,
Yeah.
um last week, and what I was what I wrote in my diary, what I wanted was moving to Canada.
Hmm.
Like actually I got admission in Canada. I knew the school I wanted to go and all,
Okay.
but at the almost it's like a football player trying to go to the new club, and before the deal clicks, he just changed.
Change
So
it.
that was what happened that I came to the UK. So my my journey to Cyprus, I studied public relations and advertising. So
Why did
that
you choose to study that?
I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually don't know why. Maybe because my brother studied it.
Oh,
So
your brother studied.
yeah,
Oh, you
so
studied for your brother.
yeah, my brother has been my role model.
Okay. Oh, amazing.
So
That's
one of the people that I look up to. We have 9 years in between us.
oh, it's kind of yeah, like
Yeah.
your mentor,
So
someone
yeah.
that puts
So
you.
one most of the things I do is, most of the things I know when I was growing up is due to
Your
his
brother, your
impact.
influence,
Yeah,
yeah.
his influence in my life. So yeah,
Amazing. Yeah, brilliant. That's good. And yeah, so can you share more light on
how I started
how you
fashion.
started fashion? Like
Right.
what really inspired you to do public
Yeah,
communication
yes,
advertisement
yes,
to
yes,
going
yes.
to do fashion? So what
So,
really
so,
inspired
so,
you?
what inspired my fashion journey was,
Yeah.
in Cyprus. I studied in the northern part of Cyprus,
Mhm.
so we had limited um clothing collection, clothing
Okay.
store. We had LC Wakiki. We had some of other brands like that. So it was limited, and some of the clothes that would do wear is like buying a clothes,
Mm.
and if you buy something, you're gonna see it on like
100 people.
other people. So that
My
made
God.
me start to say, oh no, this is not.
Yeah.
No, that was what really pushed me into fashion. So
Okay.
I started designing my own clothes. I had the ideas, I had everything, and um I love how clothes. I know how clothes should look like
Mm-hmm.
or how clothes should be. So I started sketching, bad sketchings and stuff like that. So, but to make it perfect, to have a tech pack, I needed someone that is good with drawings and all. So I had to talk
Mm-hmm.
to a friend, my friend Obloshel. He also run as a business relating to fashion. So I spoke to him and I was like, yo, I we can't be like this in
Mm-hmm.
Cyprus. And if you want something different, you literally have to outsource. It's like ordering from ASOS or all those brands, and you get it after 2 months or 3 months.
Mm.
So it wasn't working. So then he introduced me to my creative director, Kairat. Shout out to you. So
Okay.
Kairat is the creative director at the moment. We have two designers at the moment. So that was how I met Kairat. Kairat is an architect, so it makes things easier
Easier.
for drawings. And so I just explain my ideas to Kairat, and that was the first collection. So after the first collection, I decided that I want to be at the business side of fashion,
Okay.
not in the design part.
Okay.
So right now,
Wow.
I actually don't design anymore. I just leave it to the designers and I run the business aspect. So what pushed me into fashion was limited um,
Yeah.
options and limited designs, including.
In your journey so far
Mm.
as a business, as an entrepreneur in this fashion industry,
Yeah.
have you like what are the challenges? Obviously, I know that no matter what in life, obstacle will come, or you
Mm-hmm.
need to pick up yourself and keep moving. So,
Yeah.
what has been the greatest challenge in your business so far, and how have you been able to manage and come out from those challenges and keep moving despite the difficult times. There's sometimes you want to give up,
Mm-hmm.
but you just have to pick yourself up and keep going. So what has been the most challenging parts of your
I'll
journey?
tell you a story.
And yeah, I
I'll
would
tell
like
you a
to
story.
would like to hear that story.
So when I started my brand,
Yeah.
um, I did a private launch.
Okay.
I invited about 30 people.
Lunch party.
Yeah.
Was it a lunch
It,
party?
it was it was a private launch. So
Okay.
before I released my first collection,
Yeah.
I did about 50 pieces
Mm.
of my first design. Then I invited prospective
Bias.
buyers and
Mm.
investors, about 30
Okay.
to 35 people in Cyprus. So
Oh, that's a
I
good one.
yeah, I sent out invites, and I rented a place and all
You
those
spent
things.
money.
Yeah, of course. And
Okay.
so the launch party was supposed to be or a private launch was supposed to be like a test of the market.
Okay.
I was using those 35 people to test
Your product,
my
yeah.
products, what they feel about it,
Mm.
and everybody, oh, we love it, oh, this, you that.
Okay.
I said, oh, nice.
Bite.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
The quality was good
Mm.
and the design was unique. They've never seen that in Cyprus and all. So then I started. So um I gave those 35 people free clothing.
Oh my God. Wait,
Yeah,
you didn't
because
sell it. You sold it.
it was a launch. So the launch was supposed to be like, oh, they were going to
View.
and they were going to see the product and they were also going to pledge some money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the pledging of the money was supposed to be my you know
Gain, yeah,
an
from
income.
spending that money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so some people pledged $500, some people $200. One person even bought a bottle of him and his wife. They bought and I think he later became my customer. Shout out to you. So I so I that night we spent a lot of money on getting the place, setting up and all. So I was like, oh, I've made it. This is what.
Okay.
So now we pushed into manufacturing more of that design and all other collections. Guess what?
You
The day
said
of the
it.
launch, we sold one product.
Oh my God.
So I remember we launched it November 30, and that was the only day we sold something.
Oh my God.
So um for 7 months we didn't sell anything. I was I
Oh,
was doing everything
when
possible.
you doing
I
arts,
was
all
doing
of that.
ads. I was doing going to people's DM,
Uh,
sending them pictures.
oh
Oh,
my
I like
God.
it. That will buy. How much is it? I tell them the price. I say I will buy later,
Uh,
and you
yeah.
don't get to see them. So after our launch, our website was down for 2 weeks because um we gave well, one of the things I would say is whenever you're doing a business with anybody, either friends or family, sign a contract.
Yeah. Oh,
So
very important.
we didn't sign a contract with my friend that did it websites. He was supposed to deliver a website and app, and it took him about 2 years because
Mm.
at that time I already left Cyprus when we launched. So I paid for the website and app 2 years prior to the dates we launched because I had to put the business on hold for a year to study luxury fashion management
Mm.
in the UK. So our website was down for 2 weeks. I mean, maybe it contributed to why we didn't have customers, but I mean, we were still online on Instagram and all. So now, after 6 months or 7 months of
Mhm.
not selling anything, what will you do? You close down the business.
Yeah, some people would do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's not me. When I start something,
You
I
must see
see
it
it
to
to
the
the end.
end. Amazing.
So
That's
yeah,
good.
that's one of the, I think it's my weakness and also my strength because I can be stubborn sometimes. But yeah, so it is so at that time I used to listen to Vusi, is a South
Oh,
African
Vusi, yeah, I know Vusi.
business.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Vusi.
So I saw a video of Vusi that
Yeah.
really helped me, and he said if you can survive the
Mhm.
first 1,000 days of your business,
Yeah.
you would
It's up to
definitely
everything.
survive,
Everything.
you know. So,
100%.
but I mean, at that the day I saw that, I had seen a video before that Amazon was out was in red in what's it called now? Amazon was in loss. They were not in profit for the first 10 years of their
Mm-hmm.
business. I was like, I'm being in business for 10 years, and
Yeah.
because how do you want to um fund the business? Who will be funding
Yeah.
a failed
So,
business?
yeah.
So at that time I was reaching out to investors, and you know, because I had um an idea that if I can release more products,
Yeah.
more designs, I'll get more
More.
customers.
Some, yeah.
But the ones I haven't sold them.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no customers for 7 good months.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that was one of the most
Challenging times
challenging
of your
thing.
business.
Then what kept me going again was me remembering that Coca-Cola sold one bottle the first day of their
Oh my
business.
god.
So yeah, at
Right?
least I sold it.
As in,
I sold, and it wasn't someone that I was expecting to buy.
mm.
So it was just randomly from
Okay.
my Snapchat. I
Wow.
posted the website, and they purchased from me. So I was like, okay. So I think this business works. That was, one of the most difficult um times in my business.
Oh, oh, now you're selling more, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
God.
thank God for growth. Yeah, you talked about, I don't think you really went, dived in deep in your fashion for your master's. This is
Mm,
your second master's
yeah.
now. Can you tell us how your having this degree has shaped your mindsets and your approach to your business
Mm.
currently? How it has formed you to being a better business in fashion, like entrepreneur. So,
So when I launched my first collection, I was still in Cyprus. I had
mhm,
finished. I was doing my dissertation for my masters, my first masters in communication and media studies. Then I had already started my business. Um, then I realized I was not um I didn't just want to make clothes.
mhm,
I wanted more. I got to know that there was a lot of things I didn't know.
mm,
So I put the business on the hold for 1 year to come
okay,
to school. I had two options. Option one is to go to a fashion designer,
mhm,
like a tailor,
okay,
to learn, and that could take me 2 to 3 years, depending on how fast I can learn.
mhm,
And option two was to come to school.
mm,
So um doing internship with a fashion designer would take me time. That's learning the practical and I told you that uh, I wanted to be in the business aspect of my
yeah, yeah,
my business aspect of my business. Coming to school to learn fashion has actually shaped the way I see fashion.
mm,
And funny enough, I did my brand as my final year project.
yeah,
So
amazing.
I had already done the market survey, did the research, did the budgeting, did the everything. So it was easy for me to
Poison.
come out and just practicalize what
Yeah.
I've done in school, the research I've done. I knew my target audience, I knew my target market, I knew who I want to sell to. So it's like, um, when you do a research, you just do research to submit to school. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just don't
yeah.
score.
So
For me,
so it's
it was
practical
yeah, it was
because you're already in the
I
field.
was I was doing my research. I was doing my research based on what I want to make money from.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished from school, I just brought all the research I did, I brought it to my team and I sent it to them. See, this is what we are doing. This is just study this, blah, blah, blah. I sent it to my creative director. I sent it to my chief operating officer. Then everybody was in sync. So it changed doing research about the business, about the brand, about other competitors. I got to know more of my competitors,
Mm-hmm.
you know, lots of them. So it's gave me then it's created a business model in my head, or for the brand, no, in my head. It's created a business model for our company, our
Mm-hmm.
brand. So we have a business model that before coming to school, I just wanted to, sell clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to school, I learned business modeling. I learned different types of business modeling. I learned what my competitors are doing. I learned a lot. So coming to school changed a whole lot of it. But at the end of the day, is experience in the field that matters.
Yeah.
So
True,
yeah,
true.
school changed a lot.
So do you think that, a lot of times people have this misconception that you need to have a big capital to start, you need to have so much money to
Mm,
start a business, and you need, because obviously you take risk and
yeah.
you can't take risk with empty pocket. So you take
Yeah.
risk when you have money to
Mhm.
spend in so many test running and everything.
Yeah.
So do you think that misconception is true, or do you think that thought process is true, or what's your say
I,
about it?
I believe that if you have money to try a lot of things,
Mm.
you have more chances of winning.
Okay,
Because
throw more light on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if I have $100,000
Mm-hmm.
and you have $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
I have
Just
more chances and more options of trying and doing a
different
lot of
things. Yeah.
different things that won't work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's if you have Otedola said that his dad gave him $250,000
Yeah.
to start his business.
Yeah.
Now, someone that was given
And
250,000
someone that was giving 200,000.
and someone that doesn't have anything to start a business.
Yeah.
So having a huge capital to start a business gives you edge in
So many ways.
advertisement, gives you edge in promotion, management, branding, packaging, a lot of
Love
things.
things. Yeah.
So yeah, I think having lots of money, a lot of capital, huge capital helps in starting a business.
But what of if the person doesn't have so
You
much? Do you
start from
think?
where you are. Now, my, for my case, I had $100,
Okay.
and the $100 was what I used to do my first test product.
Mm-hmm.
$60 for the test product, and I think shipping to Cyprus at that time was 20 or $18 thereabouts. So getting the first test product, I had um $100. Now this the risk that I took was I was supposed to do summer school. I was giving so um you either go to summer school
Mm-hmm.
or so in Cyprus, the way it works, right? You can do summer school. You can decide to do summer school or not do summer school. You only do summer school, and it gives you an edge to,
Okay.
you know,
Next question.
yeah. It removes. I think two. You can take two courses if you are brilliant. No, three courses if you are brilliant. Two courses. if you are not that so
Oh my god.
so
Yeah.
my summer school fee
Mm.
was what I used to uh
Did
manufacture.
you work the money?
I mean, so
Hey, your dad to give money.
so when
Okay,
you're
put
doing
it
this
inside
piece,
business.
right? I knew that I was taking a risk, but
Okay.
um I still uh from my first launch I made some money. So it wasn't a total loss,
Oh,
but
okay.
I made some money. I think I made about 400, $450. So some people
Mm.
promised to up to date. There's one man, you promised me
Oh,
$500.
okay.
Pledged, not
Is
promised.
it pledged?
Pledged $500.
Okay.
You know yourself. So and he hasn't,
Okay.
given
Mm.
the someone even bought on credit and you've not paid.
Oh, Allah.
You said you saw it on your friend. I said, oh, I should send it. I sent it to you. It's no problem. God is
It
watching.
happens. Like business is
So
like that sometimes.
that's one of the things I learned
Mm.
staying in my mom's shop.
Mhm.
Um, in my mom's grocery shop, I learned you don't sell on credit,
Yeah,
no matter.
never.
My mom used
Mm.
to say, business progress when friends and family pay for goods and services rendered,
Right?
discounted or not.
Right? Everybody
So
pay your money.
everybody pay what you. So I even my brother
Mm.
that is my mentor, Baba, pay your money.
As in, eh?
So I don't give out free stuff. So
Okay.
that was what, but assuming I had um I'm a nepo baby. If I have so
If you have for what?
if I have
Sorry.
if I have
Supporter.
if I
No.
sorry if I have an investor, or a dad that could give me $100,000 to start my fashion business,
Mm.
come on, Louis Vuitton will be running.
So, right?
So yeah, that's the um um downside of not having lots of capital to run to start a business. But you just have to start where you are.
Yeah,
Start
very
with what you
important.
have. Is not, you know. I learned something recently that lots of people wish for something, but they don't desire it.
Mm-hmm.
So wish is, oh, that's why
Wishful
they
thinking.
yeah, the proverb, or is it a saying? If wishes were horses,
Mm,
then
yeah.
that's right. So
Yeah.
anybody can wish. I can wish for $1 million.
Yeah,
I
but
can wish for $2 million. I can wish for a house in
Banana Island.
Banana Island or Miami. But if I desire it, desiring it is what pushes you to work.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, you know, get things working. If I want something, if I desire it so much, people would tell you, say, you are crazy. That's the way people see me when I used my um summer fee to
Yeah.
we
You have
don't
to
yeah,
sacrifice.
yeah. So you have to I desire having a fashion brand,
Mm-hmm.
and that was how I started.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
had a
have
big dream. Yeah.
lots of money, but when you desire something, you work towards it. Even if it is you losing friends, not yeah, if it's you losing friends saying that you are mad and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
you have
Sacrifice.
to
Yeah.
push to get what you really desire. Yeah, so
Yeah, thank you. Spot on. Thank you. Because, when you wish for something, wishing for something is never enough. You
yeah.
need to put in the work. You need
Mhm.
to take a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And taking a leap of faith is putting in the action
Mhm.
when required. And you don't need to have all the money in the world to
Mm-mm.
start. You can start where you are
Yeah.
and, and
Start where you are. Start
yeah,
from where
and
from
God will bless you in the process
start from the people around
around
you.
you.
But also, if you're starting a business because you have
Yeah, people are,
you're going
yeah, in trouble.
to cry hot tears, hot tears. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doja, for that. That's spot on. That's amazing. So how do you stay on top of trends and fashion? Because on top of trends and style, different creativity.
Mm,
Because in the fashion industry, I know there are loads and loads of trend going
mm-hmm.
on and back and front, and sometimes it can also be a challenge.
Yeah.
When you release one and it's out of trend, they say there's another one trend forming on. How do you stay up on top of the trend in your fashion industry?
Now, trends can be um deceiving. You must know who you're selling to.
Mm-hmm.
I sell to young professionals. People like me. I want to see someone like me wear what I wear.
Mm-hmm.
My target audience are young people, doctors, lawyers that are young. So now, if the trend is a baggy trousers, and you go ahead to make a baggy trouser just because it's a trend, you must, as a fashion brand, you must have an identity. You must
Mm-hmm.
have a DNA.
Yeah.
My brand has three colors. Those three colors are drawn from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm see a trend that oh, people are using let's say burgundy.
Yeah.
Burgundy is trending now, like orange is the new black,
Yeah.
and I go ahead to make orange dress just because it's a
It's
trend.
trendy. Yeah.
You're gonna lose your way. You have to have a DNA. You have to have the reason the big guys are still the big guys is because they own up to their DNA. They own up to their identity. You won't see um someone like Louis Vuitton
Mm-hmm.
doing something out of their DNA.
Mm.
But if they are trying to reach a new audience, yes, you can do that. You can jump on the trend if you are trying to reach a new audience, if it's a risk that you're willing to take.
Mm-hmm.
And take for example, Jaguar. Jaguar redesigned. They want to do what other brands are doing, which is um going into the digital form of they want to be digitalized in a way. They remove the logo,
Mm-hmm.
the logo that people know them for,
Yeah.
why people buy Jaguar, and they just went to just the new logo of Jaguar. They just wrote Jaguar. Now they lost 90% of their customers. In April this year, 2025, only about 14, don't quote me on that, about 14 Jaguar cars was sold,
Yeah.
So just because
Oh, look.
of logo.
Yeah.
And I the 14 people that bought must really love Jaguar, So
Yeah.
they lost a lot
Plus, yeah.
just because they jumped on the trend
Okay.
of being digitalized, AI and stuff like that. People want to see Jaguar, not an electric car.
Mm.
You get what I mean? So it's the same thing with Mercedes. People complaining that, oh, Mercedes is this and that and stuff like that. So if you join the trend just because it's trending,
Certainly, yeah.
you're gonna lose your way. You have to have an identity. You have to
Yeah.
have a solid ground.
Well, yeah. Amazing. That's spot on. Yeah. Having a fashion business. So what are these? Because I know structures are what builds businesses and what builds over humans as well.
Yeah.
So what are the structures you've put in place for your business?
Now, for me, I know my strengths
Mm-hmm.
and I know my weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
My strength is delegation.
Okay.
So most of the things that I should do by myself, I try to delegate it. And I know my strength is in planning
Mm-hmm.
and thinking and management.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to the structures that you put in place, we put you in place.
Okay. I mean, I like that.
So yeah, so I I have my CEO understands
Mm.
that when I want something done, if I say something,
Mm-hmm.
I want it done now because I won't remember saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So two things. It's either he writes it down or he does it at that particular time. Because my brain works like a computer.
Mm-hmm.
When I get an idea, I implement it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
When I want to do something, I do it like that.
Mm.
So um that's the structure I've put in place. I know I can't do all things by myself. That's why I have a creative director. That's why I have someone manage my social media. That's why I have chief operating officer who manages the other people. That's why I have everyone working with me. So at the moment I have about 8 employees that manages key aspects of my business. So um we are still building,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that my strength is in delegation.
Mm.
So I let people do things and I manage it.
Amazing, lovely.
Yeah,
That's so good because it's very important to delegate things because you can't do everything by
that's the
yourself.
thing.
Very
That's
good.
that's where a lot of
Yeah.
people
Get
miss it.
exhausted
Yeah,
as well.
you
When
just
you do so many things, you get exhausted easily.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, brilliant. So as a Christian and
Mm,
a believer,
mm.
how has your Christianity and your faith in God influenced your business and your personality as an entrepreneur?
You know, the first
Maybe
time,
short.
yeah, the first time that my wife took me home as a fashion person,
Mm-hmm.
the first question Abidnomi asked
Mm.
was, "Hope is not gay." So now it's
Yeah.
there's this
Mm-hmm.
stereotype about people in fashion
Passion,
that
yeah.
oh you have to be this, you have to be that. That's what
Mm-hmm.
my brand is correcting.
Yeah.
You have to. I don't want to, you know, because I'm into fashion does not mean I have to be
Mm-hmm.
this. I have to be that. So I'm trying my brand is inclusive, but inclusive.
Yeah, actually, I get that. Amazing, amazing. So that's very good. And how has believing in God shaped who you are today? And
I can't do anything without God.
yeah, so
If God come out Holy Spirit, na die a day.
actually,
So I take my prayer like because I know what my brand is trying to change and
mm-hmm,
what my brand is trying to do. So I
mm-hmm,
take prayer seriously,
mm-hmm,
and I try to have mentors that
mm,
can sometimes my strength alone.
yeah,
Obviously, your strength alone cannot help you. You have
mm,
people that pray for you.
yeah,
So I have prayer mentors
yeah.
and I have business mentors.
Okay, yeah, that's what another line I'm even coming from mentorship.
Yeah.
A lot of people really do not see the need for mentorship, but
Mm.
mentorship is a very important part of our life that we
Yeah.
should take seriously. Having a good mentor that can put you through the process, put
Mm-hmm.
you on check,
Mm-hmm.
like accountability,
Uncle Sheivo is one
So
of my
how
mentors.
how have you been able to, you know, like put how have you been able to, have good mentors like enjoy the process of mentorship.
You have to find people that are like minded.
Yeah,
You know,
amazing.
when
Yeah.
when you see someone that you want to be like them.
Mm-hmm.
So Uncle Sheivodi is one of my mentors, and um, I see what he does,
Mm.
and I want to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's having people that you can look up
So
to,
yeah.
and they can also put you in check.
Yeah.
You can ask advice from
Question.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That have gone through the process before you,
Exactly.
so they know
I
better
was
than
I was
you.
going through a part in my business where most of my friends were asking free clothes. I was like,
Mm.
I didn't make it for free. Let me
Yeah.
wear it so that people can know. Why you not buying? Who are the people that will know if you wear? Are you a
Oh
celebrity?
my gosh.
So I had to
Yeah.
ask my mentor, did you face this when you were,
Yeah.
you know, at at the early stage? Say
Mhm.
yes, that I just have to if I that was when I learned that if you have a business just because you have friends,
Nah,
well,
you see,
hopefully
but
big time. Big
yeah, not all your friends and family will buy from you,
yeah,
not because you are their friend or
of
something.
course.
Not even all your friends and family will even like your
Some people will
products.
not buy from me because it's you.
Actually, so yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. So, what advice would you give anyone who is looking at starting a fashion business or who wants to start any business at all? Let's
Start.
make it. Just start.
Start. Learn on the job.
Just start,
Just
guys.
start. You learn on the job.
Okay.
There's nothing as you can't have everything figured out.
Okay.
There's a lot of things I know today that it was when I started I know it.
Okay.
And it's the same thing God does to us.
Yeah.
If God says go to Jericho,
Yeah.
just go.
Go, right?
Just go, because you just you when God gives you an idea, start working on it.
Yeah.
You can't have everything figured out. You can't. Even if you put a location on Google Map, it doesn't give you turn right, turn left, turn right,
Actually,
circle. It
you need
gives
to
you a
let.
line. So it's that line that you follow. Then when you get to a particular point, you turn left, you turn right. There's a circle in front. There's a roundabout in front. That's how business works. You
Yeah.
just have to start.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my God, you've poured so much on us today. Thank you so much for being on our podcast. It was a pleasure
I love
having
to come
you.
back.
And thank you so much, guys. Listen, just start. Just start that business.
Just
Start
start.
right away.
Yep.
Thank you. And please do follow, share, and like our videos. And see you next time on our podcast. Bye.